Most people don't realize this, but the moment your mind stops spinning in worry, life finally has room to move in your favor. We live in a world where anxiety has become a background noise, constant, exhausting, and quietly destroying our confidence. You worry about what might go wrong, what others might think, what the future might bring, and without noticing, your life becomes shaped by fears that have never even happened. But the Stoics uncovered a truth that modern life keeps forgetting. Worry doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. It steals your energy before anything has even occurred. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are troubled by something external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Today, we're going to explore 6 Stoic truths that will help you release unnecessary fear, reclaim control, and finally allow your life to flow the way it was meant to. Because when you stop worrying, everything starts to go well. Truth 1. Worry is just fear disguised. Worry feels intelligent. It feels responsible. It feels like you're preparing for danger, protecting yourself, staying ahead of the worst-case scenario. But underneath all its noise, worry is nothing more than fear wearing a nicer outfit. It drains your energy without giving you anything useful in return. It convinces you that thinking more will somehow save you from what might happen, when in reality, it only traps you in a future that hasn't arrived and may never come. The Stoics understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And this is the exact mechanism of worry. Your mind creates vivid stories, loops of what-ifs, failures, losses, disappointments, and your body reacts as if they're already happening. You feel stressed about events that don't exist. Your chest tightens over conversations that will never occur. You lose sleep over outcomes that won't materialize. Worry doesn't solve tomorrow, it only steals today. Think about how many opportunities you've delayed because of imagined consequences. How many conversations you avoided not because they went poorly, but because you feared they could. How many decisions you postponed because your mind kept whispering, "What if it goes wrong?" This is the problem. Worry makes you live in an alternate reality where everything is dangerous. And once you adopt that lens, life starts to look hostile even when it isn't. Stoicism teaches the opposite approach. Name the fear, face the fear, shrink the fear. Fear thrives in the shadows of your mind, but when you bring it into the light, it loses its size. Try this. Whenever worry rises, write down exactly what you fear, not the vague cloud, but the precise threat. I'm afraid I'll lose my job. I'm afraid they'll reject me. I'm afraid I'll fail. Once it's clearly named, ask, is this happening now? Is this within my control? Is this something I can prepare for rationally? Most worries collapse under these questions because they have no real foundation. The truth is, every time you worry, you're rehearsing pain that hasn't happened. You're weakening yourself before anything has even occurred. But the moment you stop letting your imagination terrify you, the world becomes far less threatening. You start to see challenges instead of catastrophes. You start to see choices instead of traps. You start to move again. Worry cannot coexist with clarity. When the mind is calm, action becomes possible. Confidence becomes possible. Progress becomes possible. And life begins to work with you instead of against you. Remember this, worry pretends to keep you safe, but what truly keeps you safe is awareness, preparation, and presence, not fear. Name the fear, and it loses its power. Replace worry with deliberate focus, and you reclaim your life. Truth, 2. What you can't control must be released. Worry is almost always a battle against something you were never meant to hold. You try to control people's reactions, outcomes, timing, circumstances, and even the way life unfolds. Yet none of these things have ever belonged to you. The more you grip what isn't yours, the more life feels heavy, unpredictable, and hostile. This is why worry grows. It thrives whenever you cling to things that lie outside your reach. The Stoics were clear about this. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others not." And that single line is one of the most powerful truths you will ever learn, because it instantly divides your life into two paths, the one you can influence and the one you must release. Worry happens when you confuse the two. You think you can control what someone thinks of you, how a relationship turns out, whether a plan succeeds, or whether everything goes exactly the way you imagined. But no amount of tension, fear, or mental rehearsing can change those outcomes. Look at your own life. How many times did you obsess over something that ended up unfolding differently anyway? How many nights were spent replaying conversations you couldn't undo? How many hours wasted trying to predict a future that arrived in a form you never expected? This is the tragedy of worry. It keeps you imprisoned in battles you cannot win. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, something remarkable happens. Your mind relaxes, your body softens, your energy returns. You create space for clarity. Instead of fighting reality, you begin to move with it. Instead of resisting change, you respond to it. Life stops feeling like an enemy you must defeat and becomes a landscape you can navigate. The Stoic approach is simple, but not easy. At every moment, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, act with discipline and intention. If the answer is no, drop it like a weight you were never meant to carry. This single mental habit can save you years of anxiety, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. Imagine applying this today. A coworker's opinion, not your control, release it. A delayed opportunity, not your control. Stay focused, a person pulling away, not your control. Honor your self-respect. The market, the weather, the outcomes of your efforts, out of your hands. But your character, your attitude, your effort, your choices, these are always yours. These are where your freedom lives. Letting go is not weakness, it is mastery. It is understanding the boundaries of your influence and choosing not to bleed energy into the impossible. When you stop trying to control everything, you reclaim control over the only thing that ever mattered, yourself. And here is the paradox the Stoics discovered. The moment you release what isn't yours, life begins to flow more smoothly. You stop resisting and therefore stop suffering. You become lighter, more grounded, more powerful. Let go or be dragged. The choice is yours every single day. Truth 3. Worry kills action. Action kills worry. Worry has a way of convincing you that you need to think more before you move. It whispers that you're not ready, that you need more information, more clarity, more certainty. But the longer you stay in your head, the heavier everything becomes. Worry paralyzes. It freezes your potential. It traps you inside endless mental rehearsal instead of letting you engage with real life. And what's worse, inaction gives worry more fuel. The less you do, the more you fear doing anything at all. The Stoics saw this clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently think. If you constantly generate scenarios of failure, your mind begins to expect failure. If you constantly hesitate, hesitation becomes your default. But the same rule works in your favor. When you act, even in small steps, your mind begins to associate movement with capability. Action breaks the spell of fear." Think about the moments in your life when worry felt the strongest. It was never while you were actually doing the thing, only while you were imagining it. Anxiety lives in anticipation, not reality. The phone call you feared wasn't nearly as hard once you dialed. The project you procrastinated on became easier once you typed the first sentence. The conversation you dreaded felt lighter once the first words came out. Worry cannot survive contact with real action. Psychology calls this behavioral momentum, but the Stoics knew it long before. Action generates clarity. You do not wait for confidence to begin. You begin to generate confidence. The mind stops spiraling when the body starts moving because action creates direction, and direction dissolves fear. When you feel overwhelmed, don't aim for a perfect plan. Aim for the smallest next step. Send one email, clean one corner, walk for 5 minutes, write one paragraph, make one call. These tiny movements tell your mind, I am not stuck. And once you prove that you can move, the illusion of helplessness fades. The truth is, worry is often a symptom of unused energy. When you don't give your mind a task, it invents problems. When you don't give your body movement, your thoughts turn inward and begin to recycle the same fears. But once you shift into action, the mind recalibrates. It becomes your ally instead of your enemy. This is why Stoicism emphasizes disciplined action. Not reckless motion, not frantic busyness, but deliberate steps aligned with your values. Action anchors you to the present moment, and worry only exists in the imagined future. When you move, you reclaim the present. When you stay still, the future overwhelms you. So the next time worry tightens your chest or fills your mind with noise, don't sink deeper into thought. Don't argue with your fear. Don't wait for the perfect emotional state. Instead, take one small step in the direction you've been avoiding. Let action pull you out of your head and back into your life. Remember, worry grows in stillness, but it dies in motion. Move first. Confidence will follow. Truth. 4. Most problems are born from overthinking, not reality. If worry is fear in disguise, then overthinking is the factory that produces it. The mind loops, spins, magnifies, exaggerates, invents and rehearses until a neutral situation feels threatening and a small challenge feels impossible. Overthinking transforms minor uncertainties into imagined catastrophes. It convinces you that danger is everywhere simply because your mind refuses to rest. And the cruel irony is this: the more you think, the less clearly you see. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Today I escaped anxiety," or no, I discarded it, for it was within me. He didn't say he escaped a terrible event, he escaped his own thoughts about it. This is the heart of Stoicism, the realization that your suffering often comes not from the world, but from the lens through which you interpret it. When your mind is tangled, life looks tangled. When your thoughts calm, the world becomes manageable again. Most of the pain you anticipate never happens. The rejection you fear doesn't come. The failure you imagine doesn't unfold that way. The confrontation you rehearse ends up soft. Yet your mind reacts as if these imagined disasters are guaranteed. Overthinking hijacks the nervous system. It sends your body into survival mode even though nothing is actually threatening you. Think about the last time you spiraled mentally. The situation itself was probably simple, but the story your mind built around it was heavy, emotional, and overwhelming. A delayed text becomes, "They don't care." A small mistake becomes, "I'm not good enough." A pause at work becomes, "I'm failing." Overthinking doesn't just distort reality, it replaces it. Stoicism teaches a different path. Return to what is actually happening, not what your imagination is projecting. When you feel your thoughts spiraling, ask, what are the facts? What do I know for certain? What assumptions am I adding? Most overthinking collapses under this kind of scrutiny. Another powerful technique the Stoics used is to interrupt the mental loop with presence. 5 slow breaths. Feeling your feet on the ground. Naming what you see in the room. These simple grounding steps pull you out of the imaginary world your mind is constructing and place you back in the moment where life is far less dramatic. Remember, clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from thinking less, then acting. Overthinking gives you the illusion of control, but in reality, It steals your ability to respond. You become trapped in preparation instead of participation. You analyze so intensely that you forget to live. When you stop letting your mind drag you through every worst-case scenario, you remember something crucial. Reality is almost always softer than your imagination. The world is rarely as dangerous as your thoughts make it. When you calm the storm inside your mind, you can finally see the truth of a situation, and most of the time, the truth is far less frightening than the story. Release the need to predict, to anticipate, to rehearse. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose presence over projection, and above all, choose to live in what is, not in what your mind invents. Truth. 5. Acceptance is the end of anxiety. Most people think anxiety comes from the events of life, the loss, the rejection, the uncertainty, the change. But the Stoics observed something sharper. Anxiety doesn't come from what happens, it comes from resisting what happens. The mind tightens when it refuses reality. It clings to how things should be and suffers because they are not. Acceptance is not surrender. It is the removal of unnecessary suffering. It is the point where anxiety loses its fuel. When you fight the truth of a situation, you create inner conflict. You argue with outcomes, replay conversations, rewrite the past in your mind. But none of that changes what already is. Resistance turns a difficult moment into a miserable one. It turns pain into panic. It turns uncertainty into torment. Acceptance, on the other hand, clears the fog. It reconnects you with the part of yourself that can think, choose, and act. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do." He wasn't telling you to love misfortune blindly. He was teaching liberation, the freedom that comes when you stop demanding that reality bend to your expectations. Accepting something does not mean approving it. It means acknowledging it so you can move forward instead of staying trapped in emotional quicksand. Consider how much of your worry comes from refusing to let something be what it is. A relationship ending, a plan falling apart, a door closing. You tell yourself it shouldn't have happened, that it's unfair, that it could have gone differently. But clinging to should only multiplies your suffering. Nothing changes except your peace being drained. The event is neutral until your resistance turns it into a threat. Acceptance doesn't take away the challenge, but it takes away the chaos. It allows you to see clearly. This is the situation. What can I do with it? That question restores power. It shifts you out of fear and into problem solving. It turns anxiety into agency. Try a simple exercise. The next time your chest tightens with worry, pause and say out loud, "Let it be what it is." Notice how your body softens when you stop fighting. Notice how your breathing deepens. Acceptance brings you back into the present, where action is possible. Worry keeps you in the imaginary future, where control is impossible. Life is constantly changing. People leave, opportunities shift, circumstances evolve. Your peace depends not on everything staying stable, but on your ability to adapt without collapsing. Acceptance gives you that strength. It frees your emotional bandwidth. It allows you to respond instead of react. And it reminds you that even when you cannot control the situation, you can always control the meaning you assign to it. When you stop resisting life, life stops resisting you. Anxiety dissolves because its source, your internal struggle, disappears. What remains is clarity, resilience, and a quiet confidence that whatever happens, you will meet it with steadiness. Acceptance is not the end of effort. It is the beginning of true peace. Truth 6. The more you trust yourself, the less you worry. At the core of almost every worry lies a single hidden belief: I won't be able to handle it. You may not say it out loud, but it sits underneath the fear. The doubt that you won't be strong enough, smart enough, disciplined enough, or resilient enough when life becomes difficult. And because you doubt yourself, the world feels threatening. The future feels dangerous. Every uncertainty becomes something to fear rather than something to face. Self-trust is the antidote to this. When you trust yourself, the unknown stops being terrifying. It becomes a landscape you can walk through rather than an enemy to avoid. Worry dissolves not because life gets easier, but because you finally believe you can handle whatever comes. The Stoics built their entire philosophy around cultivating this inner strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimation of it, and you have the power to revoke that at any moment." That last part is the key. You have the power, not circumstances, not other people, not fate, you. But self-trust doesn't appear magically. It is earned through consistency. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your mind learns, "I can rely on me." Every time you follow through, even in small ways, your inner voice becomes steadier. And the stronger that voice becomes, the quieter your worries grow. Think about the opposite. When you break your own promises, skipping commitments, abandoning goals, avoiding difficult conversations, your mind remembers. It begins to see you as unreliable. And when you don't trust yourself, of course, everything feels frightening. The future looks risky because you doubt your ability to handle it. You overthink because you lack internal stability. You worry because you feel unprepared. But when you build self-trust, the entire emotional landscape shifts. Opportunities feel possible. Challenges feel manageable. Setbacks feel recoverable. You stop imagining disaster by default because you know, even if things go badly, you will respond with strength, not collapse. A powerful way to rebuild trust is through micro-consistency. Keep one small promise to yourself daily. Wake up at the time you committed to. Do the workout you said you'd do. Finish the task you postponed. Speak your truth in one conversation. These are not minor gestures. They are votes cast for the kind of person you're becoming. Each fulfilled promise becomes evidence your mind stores. I act. I follow through. I don't run from difficulty. Soon, you notice something shift. The fear of the future softens. The noise in your mind quiets. Worry loses its grip because you've replaced uncertainty with capability. When you know you can handle reality, you stop needing to predict it. The world doesn't calm down. You do. And once you do, everything becomes easier to navigate. Remember this truth. Anxiety shrinks in the presence of competence. When you trust yourself, life stops feeling like a threat. You walk differently. You decide differently. You breathe differently. Build your self-trust brick by brick, and worry will no longer run your life. It will simply pass through you, unable to take root, because you finally know the strength of the person you've become. Truth 7. The Stoic Anti-Worry Protocol. 7 Days to Inner Calm. Worry is not something you eliminate through inspiration alone. It dissolves through disciplined practice. The Stoics treated anxiety the way a warrior treats an opponent, systematically, patiently, and with daily training. What follows is a 7-day protocol designed to retrain your mind, calm your nervous system, and build a foundation of inner steadiness. Each day targets one core root of worry, replacing old patterns with clarity, presence, and self-trust. Follow each step sincerely, and by the end of the week, your relationship with fear will feel radically different. Day 1. Circle of Control. Audit. Begin by separating your life into 2 columns, what you can control and what you cannot. Write them down without rushing. The moment your mind sees this division clearly, anxiety loses half its power. Most of what you worry about lives in the "not my control" column: outcomes, timing, opinions, reactions, uncertainties. This practice forces your mind to return to your true domain: thoughts, actions, effort, character. Review the list each morning. Let it be your compass. Day 2. Fear. Naming worry is vague. Fear is specific. And what is specific can be confronted. Spend 10 minutes naming the exact fear behind your worry. Not "I feel anxious," but "I'm afraid this project will fail," or "I'm afraid they will reject me." When you name a fear precisely, it stops roaming freely in your imagination. Most fears shrink once they are written in plain language because the mind can finally see what it's dealing with. Clarity replaces chaos. Day 3. Single action. Momentum. Today, break the paralysis caused by overthinking. Choose one small action related to a worry you've been holding. One email, one phone call, one step forward. The purpose isn't to fix everything. It's to teach your mind that movement is possible. Action creates direction, and direction kills anxiety. After you complete your step, acknowledge it. Small victories compound into powerful confidence. Day 4. Negative visualization. The Stoics protected themselves from worry by visualizing the worst-case scenario, not to suffer, but to neutralize its emotional sting. Spend a few minutes imagining what you fear going wrong, then ask yourself, if this happened, how would I respond? You'll quickly realize 2 things. The worst rarely happens, and even if it did, you could handle far more than you think. This exercise transforms fear into preparedness. Day 5. Acceptance. Drill. Choose one thing in your life that you've been resisting. A change, a loss, a delay, an unanswered question. Sit with it and repeat. Let it be what it is. Feel the tension leaving your body as resistance dissolves. Acceptance is not giving up. It's reclaiming the energy wasted, fighting reality. Once you accept the situation fully, your mind can finally decide what to do next without the fog of panic. Day 6. Silence fragment. No reaction for 24 hours. For one day, commit to not reacting impulsively to anything. No defensive texts, no over-explaining, no emotional replies. This ritual trains emotional discipline. It teaches your nervous system to pause instead of panic. When you choose silence instead of reactivity, clarity rises like sediment settling in a glass of water. By evening, you'll be shocked by how many worries simply evaporated because you refuse to feed them with immediate response. Day 7. Self-trust oath. End the week by writing a simple vow to yourself. I trust myself to handle whatever comes. Read it aloud. Let your nervous system hear it. Self-trust is the foundation of calm. When you believe in your response, you stop fearing the future. You stop living in imaginary disasters. You begin moving with a quiet confidence that nothing can break your inner center. Affirmation for the entire ritual. Calm is my true nature. Repeat it each morning. Anchor your mind to it. Let it remind you that anxiety is not who you are. It is simply a habit you are unlearning, one disciplined day at a time. When you finally understand worry through the lens of Stoicism, something powerful happens. You stop feeling hunted by the future. You stop losing energy to imagined fears. You stop shrinking under the weight of things that were never yours to control. The truths you've explored in this video are not abstract ideas. They are tools meant to be practiced and lived. And if you follow the 7-day anti-worry ritual with intention, you'll begin to notice a shift. Your thoughts slow down, your reactions soften, and your confidence rises from the inside out. Remember, life doesn't suddenly become easy when you stop worrying. You simply become stronger, clearer, and more capable of meeting whatever comes your way. That is the real transformation. Thank you for being here, for choosing growth, and for giving yourself the chance to breathe again. If this message helped you, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss the next step in your Stoic journey. Calm is your true nature. Return to it daily.